Hi, everybody. This is Andrew Oppman with an edition of Academic Spotlight, a periodic feature we're doing on the colleges and special units of Middle Tennessee State University. And what a special unit we are talking about today, the James E. Walker Library, led by its dean, Kathleen Schmand. Welcome.
Thanks for having me here.
So we were talking about this prior to taping, about the amazing opportunities and services you provide our students day and night. It is a center of the campus just as much as any other place, but maybe more so. Talk about when you describe your library, how do you tell people about it?
Well, I would say I have an amazing library and particularly an amazing staff who are committed to making sure that students are successful, faculty have the resources that they need to do the research and teaching and learning that they need to be the best at what they do. We're available a lot later than a lot of other areas on campus. I'm not sure if everybody knows that we're open till 2 a.m. most nights.
It's incredible. It's incredible what you guys do.
While not all of our services are available until 2 a.m., we were talking about online reference services, so our Ask Us services, which are available until 10 p.m. right now. We're hoping to be able to expand that through a more automated, shared chat service. So we're looking at what the opportunities might be there, knowing that students, particularly graduate students, are studying up until 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes that's all the time
Sometimes that's all they got.
Right. And but we've got other programs. It's not just about the online services, although really recognizing the growth of online learning at MTSU is so important, and making sure that students have access regardless of where they're located. That if they're studying in Nashville or Chattanooga, or they've gone home for the weekend, they need to do a paper, they can get access to what they need, whether it's a video, a film, a book, a journal article. They have access to those resources.
Well, it is incredible. We call it a library because that's, I think when we designed it, we had to put a name on it. We call it a library, and 250,000 square feet, more than 1 million volumes. But it is more, so much more than a library. Talk about some of the things that you do that defy and expand the traditional definition of a library.
Well, when people picture a library, they picture books, and they picture physical books. In a collection, you go and you scour the shelves, and you're looking for a particular title, similar to your public library. Academic libraries have a deeper responsibility to support all the different types of learning that students engage in on the campus. And so we have experiential learning in our makerspace. So students that need to create artwork or engineering projects can use 3D printing, laser cutters, vinyl cutters. They can do electronic prototyping. We've got opportunities to create in virtual reality as well as augmented reality, which are a little less common for a lot of people, but it's a growing area of development and creativity for many. It opens doors and creates opportunities for students and faculty to expand how they're teaching and learning. One of my favorite examples is, students, we've added a flight simulator through virtual reality in the makerspace. And so students can practice their flight simulation in the makerspace rather than having to travel or they can't get time in one of the more traditional aerospace flight simulators. You can do anatomy using a virtual application to explore, how the heart functions or how veins look without doing any damage to the human body. I always appreciate that fact. But students are using things like those tools. English classes are writing about how to print in 3D. So, you think about policy manual development or just writing for succinctness and clarity. You've got the creativity as far as design that happens in those programs. Additionally, we talk about the makerspace. We've added an easy recording studio this past year. And so students that really don't need to know how to use all the camera technology and lighting can go in with a few pushes of buttons. They can set themselves up, do an interview, do a recording, and then edit it as they wish later on, and walk away within 30 minutes. And so really it's about providing access to tools and resources that allow them to complete the assignments that are given to them from faculty. We've got the green screen room, we've got a podcast space, we've got a pretty expansive equipment lending program. We've been partnering closely with ITD in the last couple of months. So we've expanded our laptop checkout. We have laptops that are now available for 2-week loans. In addition to the laptops we have for 3-day loans, we've also incorporated hotspots. And so students can check out hotspots anytime we're open. And we create, through the hours in the building, greater access to those resources and tools.
Best Wi-Fi on campus is at the James E. Walker Library, in my opinion.
Okay.
In my opinion.
I think some students might disagree with you.
In my opinion, I think you guys are on top of it. The equipment rental, equipment loan, so important to students who need access to that technology. The hotspots you mentioned, a lot of our students live in places without very robust internet connection, or they simply don't have it. And that basically breaks down barriers. The Walker Library is home to our academic tutoring in so many levels, and I think that's a good part of the first floor of your facility, correct?
There's actually, it's located at the back of our print periodical stacks, and I know that they are doing a mix of in-person and virtual tutoring, and I think that appeals quite a lot to students. On our third floor, you find the Writing Center, which is always an amazing resource for students to take advantage of.
What a great place.
Right. We have the LT and ITC, which is the equivalent to faculty development, on our third floor as well. And they're offering great instruction related to teaching and learning and research on the campus.
And much of that technology-based, correct? And I take a lot of folks into the library just to show off, because it's got a wow factor. You walk into the Walker Library and you walk into that lobby, you look up, and it's just all of this natural light, this beauty that's in there. But it's, a lot of people think a library is quiet, and yours has quiet places, but it also has not so quiet places, right?
Yeah.
And there's some places you can eat food.
Yep.
So I love the fact that you've got a place there that isn't what you had in the back of your head of what you think a library is.
Yeah, I mean, we've really had to adapt and recognize how students want to study and learn. And if they're going to come in and spend 4 hours, you get a little hungry, you want to nosh a little bit, so you've got to get your coffee and your snacks. And so they can pretty much take those anywhere. I have seen students go and grab their Chick-fil-A lunch and come on, and they're there for a few hours working on their papers or just studying for exams. They really do take advantage of the space. I'm excited to say that we've seen our first 4,000 visit day this semester.
Wow.
And the last time my associate dean told me was in March 2020. So really, we are finally seeing more of the visitation that we'd had previously prior to the pandemic.
Oh,
and so
terrific.
It's lovely to really get to see the life come back into the building even more.
We used to always joke that our Starbucks has a library attached to it.
Yes.
Which, that makes it even a more popular place, right?
Yeah. Well, and there's so much that happens in the quad. It really is a gathering place for students. Because we're open, we get until 2 a.m. We get a lot of students that want to come in, and they meet as a group in the building because other spaces on campus are not available to them. We totally get that. Ideally, down the road, we'll have even better spaces that might accommodate those kinds of uses on a more regular basis.
Kathleen Schmand, the Dean of the James E. Walker Library, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back to Academic Spotlight. I'm Andrew Oppmann. And joining me now is Dr. Lori Witherow from our admissions team. Lori, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We've got a lot of stuff to cover.
Okay.
The most important talking point, December 1st. Why do we keep on saying that over and over again? Apply by December 1st.
Students have to apply by December 1st in order to be considered for our guaranteed scholarships.
When you say guaranteed, that means if I have the application in by December 1st and I meet these criteria, what happens?
They're awarded a scholarship. This year, for the first time, we're adding a top-level band of scholarships, and we call it our Centennial Scholars. So with a 34, 35, or 36 ACT and that 3.5 high school grade point average, student is guaranteed $8,000 per year. We have other awards like the Buchanan. That is a higher award.
That is, and let's talk about the Buchanan. It is not in the guaranteed academic scholarship band because it is application driven, correct?
Right, and a very competitive award. We have top-tier students from all over the state and all over the country applying for that award, so very competitive.
Lori, I think a lot of people aren't aware that there are wide bands of students that apply to MTSU that could come to MTSU tuition free, correct?
Sure, under lots of different circumstances. Some of those merit-based, some of those need-based, or a combination of that. So I'd like all students to go to the website and check out that, look for more information, www.mtsu.edu/mtfree.
After December 1st world, we're recruiting year-round. We want you to apply by December 1st, but the reality is, for whatever reason, some people don't hit that deadline. And that's sad because they lose the guarantee, but we don't want to say, don't consider us if you find yourself in that boat. Are there any scholarship available to people who apply after December 1st?
Yes, I reserve some of my scholarship budget for those students. They're not guaranteed awards. I'll award them until the money runs out in the scholarship budget. And they're not quite as high as the guaranteed awards, and that's why I really want students to meet that December 1 deadline.
I hate to sound like a broken record, but I really am. If you meet these qualifications for the scholarships, it is just in your best interest to apply by December 1st.
Absolutely.
And like you said, we've got all of this information and more is on the website, mtsu.edu/apply. Dr. Lori Witherow, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And that does wrap up this edition of Academic Spotlight. As Dr. Witherow said, apply by December 1st if you want to be considered for our range of academic scholarships, guaranteed. I'm Andrew Oppmann. We hope to see you soon on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University.